Hey! Hey! There's a turkey on a f***ing roll! Count your lucky stars, it's spring, b****.
Welcome back to the vlog. Today we're going to be playing 2-5 No Limit at Chasers, which is over in Salem, New Hampshire. The only issue is I need a haircut, so I'm going to go for a run, get a haircut, play some cards, respectively. But you guys don't care about the first two activities, so let's cut right to the card room.
Not only did we not go for a run, we didn't get a haircut, nor did we go to Chasers. Swing and a miss, 0 for 3, strikeout. We went to Boston and play a home game. So this is a 2-5 home game, and I was really excited to play until I realized they're doing a round of PLO. That Husky is spitting facts because I don't play PLO, but the game seems really good, and I didn't drive an hour to not play. So let's just fold out our PLO hands and play Hold'em. That's what I thought originally. That's what I thought. That's a great idea. Play to your strengths, right? No, we're gonna get involved in my ass. If that's not foreshadowing, I don't know what is, but we start off with jacks on the cutoff, and there's a straddle on with a middle position raised to 35. Since I'm in position, I go 3x and make it 110, but everyone folds, and we pick up $52 of dead money. This next hand is pretty interesting. We have ace-7 of hearts in the straddle, and there are 6 limpers to me. Oh my god. This is normally a hand that I would fold in a lot of other positions, like under the gun or early middle position, stuff like that, because we're going to be out-kicked a lot of the time, and there's not really a lot of connectability, but when everyone limps, they're giving away the strength of their hand, saying, I don't have 8s plus, no ace-king, no ace-queen, nothing really that strong, because they would all raise pre-flop. I sense a lot of weakness, so I decide to take advantage and isolate, maybe even take this down pre-flop. I make it $90 and 2 call. The flop comes about as good as it gets. 4-3-2 with 2 hearts. That is a great flop, as we have 2 overs, a nut flush, and any 5 will give us a straight. I continue for $110, and it seems that our original suspicion that no one was too strong is correct, because both of them quickly fold. I'm really happy with this hand, not because it was a huge pot, but more so just realizing the situation and taking advantage of it. Next hand, I get my teeth kicked in and I lose $160 in Omaha. I have no business playing Omaha, but I can, throughout this vlog, you'll see that I continually play shit that I have no, it's like a kid walking down the wrong block, you know? Like, I have no business being here, but I continue to find myself in these situations. I'm playing PLO. I shouldn't fucking play PLO. Why am I In this next hand, we take a trip over to Africa. We look down at 2 black kings, the prince and his predecessor, and even better, we're on the straddle. There are 2 limps to the small blind who min-clicks it to 20. The big blind 3-bets to 55, and now the action's on me. Obviously weird sizings, but it's a recreational game. Everyone's just here for a fun time. The amount of Mary Jane smoked in this room in the last 4 hours would make Snoop Dogg look like a novice. So for everyone involved, it makes sense. When in Rome, right? So I don't want to scare off the big blind. He only has $600 total, and I'm figuring out how do I get all of this money in the middle. I elect to 4-bet to a sizing of $185, and only the big blind calls. We go to a flop, which feels like Thanksgiving dinner. It's a family reunion. We got king, queen, 6. Everyone's here except for the last king, but it's okay. He's kind of irrelevant. It's like the drunk uncle that no one takes advice from. We don't really have much of a decision to make because the big blind ships it for $325. Everyone's saying poker's a difficult game. I don't really think we're on the same level, you know? Like, there's really not much effort that goes into making a full house and getting paid. Just do that every time, and you'll be a profitable player, short term and long term, I think at least. Unless you're really bad, then I have no idea what to tell you. But yeah, easy game. Just make full houses. In this next hand, we have pocket 3s, and like Barry Bonds off steroids, we completely whiff, so we fold to a bet. In this next hand, I have king 9 of hearts under the gun. If it were a tougher game, I would just fold this because I'm under the gun with so many people left to act. But as you guys have seen so far, there's really not much raising going on, so I felt comfortable in this position. I raised to $30 and 2 people call. The flop comes queen, deuce, deuce. I continue for $30 and only 1 calls. Now, the guy who called is really face up. He always folds on the flop when he doesn't have anything. So when the turn is a 9, I check it over to him, and he bets out $100. Now, I did just turn a pair, and there are now more draws out there, like Jack 10 and the obvious club draw, but I didn't ever see him floating with a hand like Jack 10 and then stabbing on the turn. I think it's just the queen here, 9 times out of 10. If I could redo it, I think I would call, and depending on the river, if it came a club, I'd probably bet close to pot, targeting those one pair holdings. But I also don't hate a fold, so let's move on. We are in the small blind with 8-7 of spades. There are 2 limpers to me, and I raised to $55. The big blind surprisingly 3-bets me to $155.
I would play 55 all day to protect my son.
How much are you playing?
I got about like 26.
The reason I asked how much she had behind is because when there's so much money left to play for, it's a lot more profitable to call off with suited connectors. If he only has $500 behind, I think calling is probably the worst option, and it would be a negative EV play. But with so much left to play for, I think a call is just fine. So that's what I do, and the flop is Jack 10-3 rainbow. I check it over to him, and he checks it back. At this point, I put him on ace-king. He could also still have queens, kings, and aces that are checking for pot control. So with all this in mind, we go to a turn, which comes an 8. Nice. We turn a pair, and I decide to fire for $150. I think I should actually size up here to around $250, or maybe even close to a pot size bet of $300, because I don't really accomplish much other than bloating up the pot. I don't think I ever fold out queens, kings, or aces with that sizing, and if I did have jacks, 10s, or 8s, then I would certainly size up more than $150. So I believe I should go closer to $300 here. But as played, I make it $150 and the big blind calls. At this point, I don't think my 8 is good, so I'm planning on blasting off the river. At least pot, probably an overbet depending on the river card. However, my plan changes when the river is a 7, so we back into 2 pair. I don't think I want to overbet the pot now because I actually want to get called, and that line of thinking is really exploitable. You shouldn't vary your bet sizes depending on the strength of your hand, but this game and the atmosphere, I didn't think that the thought processes were like, oh my god, he's bluffing, oh my god, he's... So in this particular instance, certainly not something I would recommend doing on a regular basis, because like I said, it's very exploitable, but I decided on a sizing of $475. The big blind goes well into the tank, and after a few minutes, the big blind decides on a call. We show we're good, and the big blind flips over queens. So a really nice river, and I actually don't know what he would have done if I had overbet the pot, if a 7 didn't come. So glad it didn't come to that, though. Glad we took it down. At this point in the night, we have a healthy stack of $3,200, so let's see if we can continue to run it up. F***ing PLO, I lost $150 in a bomb pot, then another $155 on some stupid shit. I don't know, I don't play it, f*** this game. I'm punting away all my profits in a game that I don't even play. I hate myself, I think this next hand might be the hand of the night. We're in the cutoff, and we look down at 10-9 of diamonds. Under the gun raises $50. I actually don't hate 3-betting this hand, but when the raise comes from an early position and such a large sizing, especially from a passive player, I just elect to play it safe and I call. The button and small blind also come along for the ride, so we're going 4 ways to a flop, which comes king 7-3, 2 diamonds. So we flop a flush draw. Under the gun continues for $90. I obviously think the king connected with his range. I don't think a raise accomplishes much because there's not much I can represent other than a set of 7s or 3s or the obvious flush draw. So I just call, and the small blind also calls. The small blind is the tightest player in New England, so alarm bells are going off. The turn comes with the queen of diamonds. Under the gun checks, and I decide to check it back. Now, the small blind hadn't acted yet, and he decides to throw out a bet of $500. Oh my god. I'm getting flashbacks to an eerily similar hand that I played against this same opponent a few weeks prior. Same suit, same board dynamic, 3 diamonds on the turn. I had a queen high flush, and he had the nuts. I don't think there's a realm in this universe where he's doing this without the ace high flush. And under the gun ends up folding, and this player has $2,000 behind, so I know that more of it's going in on the river. After thinking about it for a minute or so, I just let it go.
Full of flush.
Vlog, YouTube. No, he was asking like, why you do that?
He goes back and looks at his own fucking thing.
Thank you.
I watch porn, he does that.
Yeah, we go home and watch porn, and he goes home and watches.
Yeah, you jerk off the models, I jerk off the chips.
What are you, the next rampage?
The amount of times I busted watching this 7-second clip of my chip stack is unhealthy, but I digress. Our stack is now at 3,200, so we're up 1,200 on the night. Also, this little aquatic creature on the top of my green chip, that's a $10 straddle. And every single player at this fucking table would get so defensive over the turtle. You have to use the turtle on your button. So it's a button straddle. Anytime the turtle came out, people would raise to like $75, $150 for a fucking turtle. Oh my god, it's a trilogy of Finding Nemo at this poker game. Except the turtle's at risk. I don't understand what's so great about this thing, but I'm happy to have him. He's welcome anytime to relax and sit on the top of my stack. Hopefully he provides some good luck moving into this next hand. We're going to need all the luck we can get, as this next hand is PLO. Oh god. We're doing a single board bomb pot, 9 ways. I look down at Ace, Queen, Jack 4, and the flop comes King 10 7 rainbow. So I have a lot going on in my hand. It checks to middle position, who pots it for $175. I call because there are a lot of turns that can improve my hand. Any 9, Jack, Queen, or Ace will give us the nuts, and there are also backdoor heart possibilities. So I call, and the small blind check jams for $670. Ugh, I hate this game. Middle position folds, and it's back on me. I don't know the percentages, but what I do know, again, is that we have 4 cards that will give us the nuts. We're holding 3 of them, so that's 16 minus 3, 13 outs. 4 times, maybe 52%, maybe? The probability that math is correct is slim to none, but again, I don't know how to calculate PLO odds. There's already $350 of dead money in there. It's only an additional $500 for me to call, and I think I'm priced in here. I don't know what to do. I mull it over for about a minute or so. I end up sticking the money in. Let's go to a run out.
What do you have?
I have a lot of outs. I have nothing right now.
I folded pocket
Once.
aces, so you.
One
I
time.
folded pocket aces.
That's not good.
Can I see?
You need an ace,
Come
right?
on. Run it out.
I got
Run
it.
out.
I got it.
No, you don't.
Oh.
No, you don't. Let's go. Yeah, blog it. Blog this.
Vlog it,
Blog
vlog it.
this. Blog this.
I have
Ship
pocket
it.
aces.
Fuck you, Sylvia. Fuck this game. Fuck PLO. I hate that. Fuck the turtle. I hate turtles. Next time I go to the ocean, I'm going to make sure to throw all of my Dasani and Poland Spring water bottles straight into the goddamn Atlantic. Every single mulled thing I just said, I take it all back. I take it all back because we look down at pocket rockets, baby. This turtle is completely forgiven. There's an under the gun open to $20. I 3-bet to 85 and only under the gun calls. The flop comes 10-8-7 and under the gun checks to me. This is a dicey board. Normally, I would check this back, but I'm tilted, so I throw it $100, and he folds. Moving on, I look down at King-Jack offsuit in the cutoff. Under the gun, 1 opens to $50, and middle position calls. This hand is either a 3-bet or a fold, and I got the feeling that I shouldn't 3-bet, but I went against my instincts, and I raised it up to $250, only under the gun 1 called. The flop came 10-3 deuce rainbow. Under the gun 1 check to me. I c-bet $150 and he calls. Turn is a 4. He checks with around 1,300 behind. If you're in my position, what do you do here? Continue barreling or do you check back and give up? The issue is, if we check back, I don't think I would ever play aces or kings like that, because realistically, we're only afraid of pocket tens. We're still trying to get value from jacks, queens, kings, if we have aces. Also, he didn't 4-bet, meaning we can pretty comfortably eliminate aces and kings. So we're going to have the range advantage here, and I think I should size to $400 here, maybe $450, and then die with the lie on the river. All that being said, I checked like an idiot. The river is the queen of diamonds, and under the gun 1 leads for $310. This sucks. I fold, and he shows ace king offsuit. So if I bet on the turn, it's highly likely that he lets it go. Unfortunately, we misplayed that one, and to make things even worse, we lost another $150 in a bond pot. All of our winnings dwindled down to nothing, and it was around this point where I was no longer in the mood to play, so I figured might as well book a small loss rather than turning this into a catastrophe. So, time for us to get out of here.
Thank you very much for watching. That is the end of this vlog. We were in the game for 2,000, out for 1840 for a loss of $160. Not horrible, but pretty disappointing considering we were up 1,200. A lot of that was from PLO. Reviewing these hands, there are a lot of mistakes that I'm making, like knowing when to continue barreling, increasing the intensity of my bluff sizes. When I clean those up, I'm going to become a much better player. It's really cool. I like this game a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys are enjoying this journey with me. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe as always, and recommend this to someone who might be interested in watching a poker vlog. Helps me out immensely, so I appreciate all the love and support. Vlog number 3 coming soon. Catch you in the next one.